Testing, testing. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the stream, guys. Make sure y'all hit the like button for me. Let's get these likes up for this video. We got something that we need to talk about, man. Man. It's getting out of control out here. You know, the evil is erupting strongly. The evil, the corruption within a system, you know, is starting to really and truly unfold. And I really hope that her story gets so far as to where it wakes people up. So sorry if y'all heard that echo. I'm just trying to make sure the sound is good, making sure you guys can hear me. Let's talk about this story. Shanequa Arnold. I'm not sure if you guys heard about this. This happened a month ago. And I'm gonna be honest with you, like I've had a similar situation in my life, where my baby was also stolen and kidnapped out of the hospital, by these corrupt people. These corrupt people. So I can really and truly relate. Give me 1 second, y'all. I know y'all hearing a lot of noise and stuff. I'm just trying to get this camera set up because I'm gonna show myself when I talk about this. Okay, there we go. So like I said, this happened last month in June. If I'm not mistaken, it happened like June the 5th or the 8th or something like that. I had literally just found this story last night as I was like going through the algorithm, and I saw it on a guy named Carlos. I can't remember his full name. Shout out to him for pushing this story out there and other content creators. And shout out to Shanequa for standing up for herself and her child. Even though, unfortunately, they still move forward to snatch her child away from her out of the hospital, she still stood her ground, seriously. And it took a lot of strength and a lot of bravery to do that. And honestly, I'm gonna be 100 with you. I wish I had did the same. Seriously. You know? Um, I do wish that I had of known better as well back then to push for what was right. I felt like I allowed the system and their little tricks and games to let me set this up straight. I feel like I allowed the system in their games to pretty much trick me into giving my children to them. And it's like, oh yeah, they told me the same thing they told her. Oh, it's just gonna take a little bit of an investigation and we'll give them back. We have, I think they said, a 72-hour hold at the time. 72-hour hold turned into 6.5 years, guys, and I'm still fighting to this day. Thank God we have custody of one of our children. What's up, Caden and Cameron? Caden says, do you have kids? I have 6 children, Caden. And out of my 6 children, 5 of them are in CPS, What's up, Cameron? Thank you for watching for Puerto Rico. Caden, I don't know what type of question it is, but evidently it was. I don't know how old you are, but you must be very curious. Let's talk about it. So when I looked at the video, I did not look at the entire video as it was very long, but I looked at the very important parts of the video. And it was very heartbreaking. It was heartbreaking. See, when I tell y'all something that is very painful emotionally, it'll make you mad. It will make you mad. And I hate when they try to say, oh, we understand your frustrations. No, the fuck you don't. Because you're the one that's causing the problem in the first place. So, to my understanding, what had happened is she gave birth to a new baby girl, and I want to say about 8 years ago, 7, 8 years ago, she had a baby that passed away from sudden infant death syndrome. Don't know the facts behind that, but evidently it wasn't her fault. Sometimes tragic situations happen that's out of our control. So she went through the proper, procedures after her baby passed away about 7, 8 years ago, and she went to therapy. I guess, to my understanding, she was told to go to therapy. Mind you, I guess she already has a child as well. So let's be 100. She got 3 kids, right? One of them was already in the system. She was fighting to get that child back. And the second one, I guess that was born, had passed away from SIDS. And she was going through a grieving process. Of course, any mother would, going through the pain and the hurt of losing a child, after you carry them for 9 months is very painful, and she went through therapy, and she had to go back to maintain her strength, which she did. According to Shanequa, she says that she has 3 jobs. She works with children and she works with mentally ill patients as well. She said that she gained her strength over time, and obviously she's a very godly person. Mind you, the demons don't like that. So, over time, like, evidently we got to live our life still through these hard times, through these horrible times. We end up finding ourselves over time, and God, he works on us. That's what people fail to realize. They go back to your past. So the reason why they was trying to take her new child is because they're trying to say, oh well, we want to make sure this child is not in danger. because your other child passed away from SIDS, which evidently it wasn't her fault, because if it was, she would be locked up under the damn jail, right? There would have been an investigation on her. Her name would have been on reports. She would have been locked up for life without parole, okay? She had another chance to have another child. God blessed her with another child. Doesn't matter if her and the baby daddy ain't together, ain't seeing eye to eye, whatever. To my understanding, according to Shanequa, her baby's father had ended up signing his rights over anyway, way before she gave birth to the child. He said he doesn't want any dealings with the baby. Okay, so she's trying to give birth to her child. These people pretty much lied to her. And they attempted to try to take her baby, which, to my understanding, they were successful with taking her child. They took the baby away and gave it to some other folks that's not related to the baby, and then finally decided to get a baby to family. And now she's working through the procedures to get her child back. Like I said, she stood up for herself. She did what was right. I wish back then I had turned on my damn camera and went live as well. When they kicked me out of the hospital from being able to be there for my child, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. The worst thing that anybody can do, any of these demons can do, is try to take your baby from you after you just gave birth, because you are in a very sensitive state. You know what I'm saying? You can fall into a very, very deep depression, because you have, your body is going through changes. You just gave birth to another human being. She doing skin to skin in the hospital, and these people are crowded around her trying to take her baby. And she was screaming, yelling, shouting. I don't blame her. So if that system want to use anything against her pertaining to her yelling, see, this is what they do, y'all. They do shit to make you mad, and then they tell you you're frustrated, you're angry. We're going to put you in anger management. We're going to make you do all these different services just because you were yelling at the staff in the hospital. Doesn't fucking matter. Doesn't fucking matter. They didn't have any probable cause whatsoever to take her child. I don't give a damn. I don't care what the circumstances was. At the end of the day, at least she was working to get her other child back home. She was going through a grieving process of losing a child 7-8 years ago, and y'all gonna bring that up and try to use it against her to take a newborn baby out of her arms. Evil. Evil. And they don't care if the baby needs skin to skin contact, because I tried to advocate for that as well when they did me the same exact way. I'm like, no, I'm breastfeeding. I am breastfeeding. I don't want my baby being taken away from me. I am breastfeeding, man. Let's come back and talk to me about this another time. They didn't want to hear it. They threatened me. Okay, let's just be 100. They threatened me with phone calls, police, and see, at the time I was very vulnerable. I didn't know too much about the system. I didn't know I knew about the corruption. Over time I started finding out how corrupt they were, but I did not know that, you have to have a court order, bro. You got to have a court order by the judge to be able to take babies away. And even still, man, we still have every right to advocate for our children. You're not about to snatch my baby up out of my damn arms after I just pushed out a damn human being. How is that okay? And then it's like, oh, let's use her anger against her because she's angry, she's frustrated. Girl, don't take that video down. Because I already know they probably going to threaten her with that. The same thing that they be doing to me. Trying to say, oh, you're not going to get your kids back if you keep these videos going and things like that. No, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Y'all are corrupt. Corrupt. Y'all are demons. Y'all corrupt. Y'all snatching babies out of hospitals. Y'all got all type of systems tagging along with y'all. Y'all got the police tagging on along with y'all. Y'all got the nurses, the doctors. Y'all got people keeping other folks hostage in a hospital so you could try to take their kid. See, let me tell y'all something. They know the best thing to do is try to attempt to take your child out of the damn hospital, because they know if they come to your doorstep, it ain't happening. They already know that. That's why they be afraid to approach your house now. So what they do is they wait until you give birth. You know, they don't even bother you really too much while you pregnant. They do make you feel like you're walking on eggshells during your pregnancy when you're supposed to have a healthy, happy pregnancy. You know, they wait until you give birth. You go through all that pain, contractions and everything. And what was supposed to be the moment of her life, you know, the best moment of her life, got snatched away from her. They snatched a newborn infant child. These people are so wicked that what they really did to me, though, was they kept me in the hospital for a whole month, okay? At the time, I was homeless. They were supposed to help me find housing and all type of shit. I'm talking about this inside of the hospital first. You know, because you go to the hospital when you need help or whatnot. Evidently, when you in pain, you go to the hospital for that. So I went to the hospital because my ass was bleeding. Okay, I was bleeding. I was pregnant. I was like 7.5 months. Yeah, I was 7.5 months pregnant. I was bleeding out, and I had to stay there for a whole entire month, and I ended up giving birth to my child at, I think I gave birth at 34 weeks. And he was premature. And me and my husband was by his bedside every single day. He was in a NICU. And when I tell you, the NICU nurses were hell to deal with because of their racism. They were racist. I'm just going to be honest with you. It was hell to deal with. And I don't know. Like, I really wish that we had went ham. Even though we did to advocate for ourselves. And y'all know what they did. Since they knew about our DCFS case with their nosy asses, they contacted DCFS and told them that we was being rude to them. We was cussing them out. Like, they made up all type of lies. All type of lies. Pretty much, they tried to use our interactions with them inside of the hospital against us to try to take our children as well. Then they tried to turn around and use the fact that I was homeless, which they can't really do that. As long as I'm in a shelter, which I had got accepted to a shelter placement. Plus, my child did not even get cleared to be released from the hospital yet because he was still premature. Anyway, we're by his bedside every day. Whole time I'm already knowing that they plotting and scheming and stuff because I'm steady seeing them like talking amongst one another silently. They plotted on us the whole entire time. And then turned around and waited 2 days after my birthday. We got up in the morning, we did our errand, went to the store like we always do, and we come back to the hospital to sit back in the room with our child. When I tell you we came back thinking that we about to check in, and they ended up telling us that it is a ban on our names, and we like, for what? They talking about because you have open DCFS case and you're currently under investigation, blah blah blah. So you motherfucker, you stopping me from seeing my child though. This is what we telling these people at the front desk. Hold on, now y'all got the wrong people. Nah, cause ain't nobody call us. That's the thing. They did some illegal ass activity, bro. They pretty much kidnapped my child. And I am here to tell my story. And I don't give a damn who don't like it. Real talk. Because y'all wrong, man. I'm tired of seeing this across the internet. Babies being snatched out of hospitals and shit. Y'all wrong for that, man. And I know that y'all are watching me, and I know that y'all probably finna be like, oh, you can't post that. You need to take that video down. I'm talking about what I'm talking about. Y'all wrong for what y'all did. Y'all violated our rights, period. Violated our rights. Made it to where we can't come back inside the damn hospital to see our child. Put a ban on our name. Told us we need to go and contact the police or contact DCFS. We didn't even know who the hell the case was with. First of all, they didn't even have a damn warrant, a court order. They didn't. And if they did everything behind the scenes. They did everything silently. They had already found foster parents for him and everything. These people is sick. They sick. They sick in the heads. And like she said, white devils. And I'm not going to lie to you. I'm going to be 100. The majority of them that we were dealing with were white. It was white. But like I always keep telling y'all, we living in a time where it's really not a race thing. It's really just flat out good versus evil. Because yeah, they were white. But the DCFS lady that came in there was black. It be your own people. Because she could have literally cleared everything. She could have cleared everything, but she was just ignorant as hell, just as well as they were. And then I'm like, what the hell? I started making all type of calls and shit. I'm like, man, what the hell can I do right now? Like, let me call my attorney. My attorney acting like she don't know what's going on. You know, now you lost. Everybody just acting like they don't know. They don't know what's going on all of a sudden. So y'all don't know that y'all just kidnapped my baby from me and his father by banning us from coming in the hospital. And then had the audacity to try and say, oh, well, the mom and the dad is angry. That's all they do. That's all they do. They do you dirty. They do you wrong. They take what God blessed you with, take it from you, and call you angry and frustrated. And then you got to do all type of services and all type of shit. They be lying, talking about if you do these services, you'll get your kids back. No, it's a lie, y'all. Don't believe that shit. I'm telling you. I'm telling you, all they want to do is play games with you. They just want your compliance, which evidently, you know, my kids, they all know that, you know, we'll never give up on them. So, you know, we've been doing what we've been doing for 6.5 years. Still no freaking results, because all we keep getting is corruption. Corruption, corruption, corruption. And with that being said, I have a few Bible scriptures for y'all corrupt asses. Because y'all need to understand that what y'all are doing is very biblical. It's very biblical. And it is definitely against what's in the Bible. Because to be honest, if you feel like a parent is doing any wrong, they're literally doing wrong. Like seriously, you have actual evidence, you know, they're doing that's exactly what they're doing. You're supposed to make sure that they get the services that they need and release their child back to them. Or just let them do services while they still have their child. Not like, what the fuck is you taking a damn child for? That's not going to help the situation. But evidently they know that. They know that it's not going to help the situation. They know that it ain't going to do nothing but make you potentially crash out. But, you know, one thing that I want to say about Miss Shanequa Arnold that she did that was very brave of her is, you know, she prayed in front of them demons. She called them out. Yes, called them out to the point where they stepped out of the room. Yeah. Then you got the same exact nurses that did me the same damn way. The same motherfuckers did me the same way, try to act like they just don't know what's going on and they care so much and they're here to advocate for you. Oh man, it ain't nothing but a bunch of deceit. That's all it is. They just want they just want to butter you up so they can get you to comply. That's all it is. They want to butter you up, act like they care, act like they understand, act like they don't know what's going on so they can get you to comply. Once they get you to comply, it's over with. So I'm glad how she's seen through their bullshit. I'm glad how she's seen them demons. I'm glad how I'm so proud of her for zooming in on their faces, on their badges. And I really pray that this woman get the justice that she deserves for what happened to her. Because the worst thing that y'all could have did to this woman is interrupt her life. Interrupt her life because you feel like she's mentally unstable. If this woman was mentally unstable, why is it that she was still able to carry on with her life? Why is it that she was able to maintain 3 jobs, still working with children and working with the mentally ill, and then being pregnant again and fighting for her other child that was in the system while grieving a child that passed away? Like, she got some strength in her. Real talk. And so y'all demons interrupted her life by doing what you did. But what you fail to realize, and this goes out to all these demonic ass authoritative figures, and I don't give a damn. I'm talking about police officers, security guards, nurses, doctors, lawyers, judges, prosecutors, GALs, caseworkers, all that BS. This goes out to all y'all corrupt ass that's doing this shit for money. Trust and believe you will reap what you sow. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. It's in the Bible. You will reap what you sow. You will. Especially if you're not. This lady posed no threat, no harm to her child whatsoever. Y'all came in her room, bombarded in her room, got her all worked up. What the worst thing that you can do, like I said, is do that to a patient that just gave birth. Because when you just give birth, your body is very sensitive, you know. Like I said, you could fall into a deep, deep depression because you already have to deal with postpartum. You know what I'm saying? So they just tried their best to ruin this lady. But I saw another content creator that caught up, that was all caught up with Shanequa Arnold and everything that had happened. So basically, the end result, like I said, was in the next, I think it was another video where she updated everybody and told them what had happened. It was like, yeah, so yeah, they ended up taking my baby or whatever from me, and they placed my baby with unknown strangers, and then they finally gave my child to my relatives, and currently going through the proper procedures to get my child back. But you know, God is still here with me, you know. And that's most important on some real stuff. Like, it is very important for us to keep God first through everything that we have to endure in these end times, because this is end times. This is biblical times, real talk. And the things that these corrupt officials are doing is biblical as well. And they don't even understand, you know, the amount of consequences that they're going to have to suffer behind this. I'm telling you, I've watched it happen before my very eyes already. And I know that it's more to come. Do y'all not know how many corrupt officials that was in on the kidnapping of all of my children? How one by one by one by one things start happening to them? Yeah. Yeah. Because the majority of everything that they put on that paperwork was lies. Straight up lies. And they know that you're vulnerable when you love your children. They know that. They know that you will do anything in your power to gain custody of your children. They know that. They know the ins and the outs to this system as it is, because they corrupt. So they know what they can get away with. But God, because I'm going to be honest with you, spiritually, you will not get away with anything. You won't. You can only get away with what you do for so long until you have to suffer the consequences for what you did. I watched everything unfold before my very eyes. I watched them get fired. I watched them have illnesses. I'm talking about, and then still to this day, some of the people that's still on my case right now, they're fighting illnesses. Real talk. They all sick, all just all type of stuff. Health is on the line though. But you still being evil though. Okay. All right. Keep it up. I'm just saying, when you don't give up on being corrupt, uh exactly, swiper. Exactly. We keep doing it. That's all I'm saying. Keep being corrupt. You know what, y'all? I'm finna go ham on this video because I'm telling you, I can totally understand this woman's pain. I've been through it. I've been through it. Now I done told y'all about my baby boy that got kidnapped out of the hospital. Um, so I had a girl before him, and 5 days old. My newborn child was 5 days old, and she got taken away out of my arms. I was breastfeeding her. They came into my home and snatched my baby. And honestly, my relative who I was living with did not want to listen to me when I said we do not have to open the door. But the only scary part is they try to threaten you and say, oh, your other kids that's in the system, if you don't comply with us, you're not going to be able to get them back. And if I had known better at that time, I would have just took the threats, the little threats that they was threatening me with, because I know that it was wrong. I know it was wrong because I had been compliant with them. I've been compliant with them the whole entire time. I was compliant. I ended up getting pregnant a year after my other 3 children was in the system. I got pregnant because evidently I moved on with my life. I was still being there for my kids, still going to all my visits, doing all my services, everything I'm supposed to do. They know that I was compliant. I was so compliant that I even told y'all asses that I was pregnant, and I didn't even have to do that. I didn't have to, but I did. And they waited all the way until after I had my child. I was able to bring her home, and here they come, thirsty as ever, banging on the doors, threatening my phone, sending me text messages, talking about they gonna get this person involved, that person involved. And eventually, at the time I had a private attorney who ended up getting off my case because he wasn't no help, you know. Because a private attorney ain't never supposed to tell you to do the wrong thing, to engage with them and, and all that shit, whatever. But at the end of the day, like, I literally did not have to do none of that, what I did, but I did. I allowed this motherfucker to take my damn child out of my arms. They gave my child to my mom, but that was temporary as hell. Because now my child is young and traumatized. Very young, very traumatized, been through multiple different foster homes already at such a young age. Real talk. And like I said, y'all, see, what they do is they stalk you on social media. They stalk you and they threaten you, and they tell you that if you don't take the videos down, it's going to be a problem in court, and it's going to be a problem, and it's going to be blah, 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 blah. They don't want you to talk about your case. They don't want you to say anything while they do their little corrupt deeds. Let's be 100. R.I.P. Nancy Schaefer. R.I.P. Nancy Schaefer. This whole system is a full circle. And I keep telling y'all that, especially CPS. Do not believe the hype when they try to tell you, oh, if you do this, that, and the third, you'll get your kids back. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not saying don't do the services. Like, yeah, do the services or whatnot. But it's something very important that we must know. Whatever they put in front of you and tell you, and I wish I had learned this a long time ago. Whatever they place in front of you while they're threatening to take your child away, If they at your house and they threatening to take your child away and they put a piece of paper, do not put your signature on nothing. Real talk. And this is just real talk. If you don't agree with something, don't sign. Don't sign unless you agree with it. If you agree with it, then yeah, okay, sign it. Do your thing. But if there is something that you're trying to advocate hard against and you don't agree with it, do not sign. Period. I don't care what nobody got to say. Don't sign it. That's just my justification. Anytime I read up on any type of paperwork, I don't care what it is. I don't care where it's from. I don't care if it's a job, whatever. If I read the paperwork and I don't agree, I'm not going to sign. See, people, they allow a person to hand them paperwork and explain it to them without the person actually reading everything, which is what happened in my case, because I was so frustrated and upset. And, that time that when they placed that in front of me, I signed it. I signed it. If I knew what I knew now back then, I can almost guarantee you I wouldn't have been in a lot of situations. But I'm grateful for everything. Grateful for everything that I've had to go through. Real talk. Just like Miss Shanequa Arnold said. Y'all ain't about to stop my shine. Y'all ain't about to stop my life. Y'all ain't about to do none of that. Just because you're racist, you feel some type of way about me because I'm black, you going based off of my damn past, and you think you know what the fuck happened. You think you know everything. You think. And then what they do is too, if your children, first of all, what they're not supposed to do is pull your little child into a room and question your child without you present. If I had known that, I wouldn't have let it happen. I'm telling y'all, I was so ignorant to the truth back then that I didn't know a lot of things about the system. And so I did full research on everything. Once you have to deal with certain situations, that's when it's like it's feeding you. Once you deal with a certain situation, you have to feed yourself with new information so you can know what not to do next time. Real talk. It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. But, I'm just y'all got to look at all these situations from my experience, from other women who's had to experience this as well. Getting a baby snatched away from, rather it's in a hospital, rather it's in a traffic stop, rather it is in your home. These people are like vultures. They are vultures. They are wicked. They are evil. And they see your baby as money, especially these little black babies. It's money to them. It's money to them. All they want to do is just kidnap your child, give your child to somebody that you don't even know, that the child don't even know. Keep them in the system, keep getting coins off of your child, and keep messing up your mind. Real talk. But y'all don't even know how many people that I knew personally that have to deal with this situation. And honestly, I knew a lot of people that had to deal with shit like this, and it made them worse. And the only reason why it made them worse is because they didn't have God in their lives and they didn't put God first. I maintained a closer relationship with the Most High God after I went through this. So y'all can use my past against me if you want to, but that's not me. That's not me. That picture that y'all painted of me a long time ago, that ain't me. I know me. You don't know me. You know what's on paper. You know what's on paper. You know what you see written down. You know what's been input in the system already or whatnot. And half the shit that's put in the system ain't even true. Half of it ain't. I know what happened. If anybody knows what happened, God knows what happened, and I know what happened. And I know what I did, and I know what I didn't do. And nobody's about to keep trying to say, oh yeah, she did this, she did that, she did this, then the third. This is why her children, blah, 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 blah. You weren't there. And let's be 100, y'all was never supposed to question my children without me present. Y'all literally violated every last one of my damn rights. Every last one of them. And this is what y'all do. Y'all violate the rights of mothers and fathers that are vulnerable, that want to make sure that they can keep their child in their homes, knowing that their child could be potentially taken for your bullshit lies. I'm not saying that, everything that CPS officials do is correct, because I'm gonna be honest with you, it is very, very, very bare minimum rare CPS officials that are good people, that actually won't get on dirt with you, that actually will give you a chance, that actually would just be like, all right, look, this is just a warning, you know, or whatnot. Or that will close out an investigation because they see it's full of shit. But majority of them, they corrupt. They corrupt and they only do this shit for the money. And then when you try to call them out on it, they try to use it against you and say that you're angry, you're frustrated, blah, 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 blah. I have a righteous frustration towards this situation. I have a righteous frustration just like any other parent do. When you come inside of somebody's home or inside of a damn hospital and you take their damn child, you think they not going to be upset? Come on now. It's like, oh, calm down. Calm down. We're going to take your child away from you, okay? It's okay. Don't react. Have no reaction whatsoever. Calm down. What the fuck you mean, calm down? How? How? If I created a child and God blessed me to be able to carry a child in my womb, to care for a child that is mine, and you trying to come in and snatch my black baby away from me and tell me to calm down? Motherfucker, what? How would you feel if somebody did that to you? If somebody came to you and took your child away and told your ass to calm down, knowing damn well you love the hell out your child. And that's where they toggle with your emotions at. That they get you where you're most vulnerable. Duh. Of course. I have unconditional love for my damn children, and y'all know that. Y'all know that because y'all know that my children have unconditional love for me back. And no matter what they do, y'all, no matter how hard they try to separate the families and things like that, they are completely unsuccessful regardless, though. You want to know why? Because I'm going to always be a mama. You can't take that away from me, though. And you can't take that away from a lot of mothers and fathers out here. They gonna always be what God allowed them to be. A parent. They still a parent. Don't matter. And I see a long time ago, right? I remember somebody had told me this a long time ago. They said the only reason why CPS officials be snatching people kids away from them and stuff like that is because they asses really be mad about what they gotta deal with at home. They're mad, they pissed off. Some of them pissed off because they can't have kids of their own and they don't have kids of their own. Some of them just did. They just be, and yes, they do, because I've dealt with a lot of them that came into my home. I'm gonna be honest with you, majority of them that I dealt with was, they was alright, but it was a select few that would come into my home with a fucking attitude. You ain't about to step foot inside of my place with an attitude talking to me crazy. By the way, you have every right to record. Every right to record. I don't give a damn if they be like, oh no, you're not gonna record me. Oh yes, the hell I am, for my safety. I do not consent to your recording. Oh well, you should have told the other 5 million cameras that's out here the same damn thing. We don't consent to recording all the time, but we being recorded inside of our damn homes. Our televisions is watching us, listening to us. Our phones watching us and listening to us. Laptops, computers. You go outside and you are stuck inside of a surveillance world. Because soon as you go outside, you're being monitored and recorded. Everything that you do is being monitored and recorded. Literally. They got street cameras up there on the poles. They got cameras every which way you look. You go into a store, it's cameras. Everywhere you go is cameras. You walking on the streets is cameras. You driving on the streets is cameras. Cameras are everywhere. We don't consent to be recorded when we wake up in the morning. Of course not. But we being fucking recorded though. They recording us butt naked walking around our homes right now. Trust me. They recording your ass, listening to you snore and sleep when you got your phone next to you. Trust and believe that. So don't matter if they don't consent to be recorded. I'm gonna still record your ass because you shouldn't be doing the corrupt shit that you're doing. Maybe if you wasn't corrupt, then you wouldn't have to get recorded. Maybe if you wasn't so corrupt and so wicked and so evil and full of demonic entities, then you wouldn't have to be recorded. Maybe if you wasn't trying to come into my personal space and my personal life and disturb my peace for unknown reasons, you wouldn't have to be recorded. I hate when people be like, I don't consent to be recorded. Well, you finna be recorded. Get the fuck up out my face. Get out my face. Then you won't have to be recorded. Period. I've had to record a few people in my lifetime. Real talk. So the fact that she was recording them was outstanding work. Real talk. Oh, by the way, I still got the video footages from them evil nurses inside that damn hospital. Yes, I do. Thank God for Google. Okay. And when I say that, I'm only saying that for a specific reason of me being able to keep files from years ago through my Google account that I still have video footage of. So, I'm just saying y'all might want to watch the little corrupt stuff y'all do, man. I do believe in keeping a paper trail. Trust and believe. People really feel like, oh, she ain't know nothing. She ain't gonna record. She ain't gonna write nothing down. What? You think I'm finna just let you come in my life, interrupt my peace, lie to me though, and say, oh, your children is only on the 72-hour hold, and you will be able to regain custody of them after this amount of time, X amount of time, blah, blah, blah. Then as time went on, y'all kept lying. Oh, 2 more months, 3 more months, you'll get them back. It might take a little bit longer, probably a little bit under a year. I'm like, what? Y'all be lying. So yeah, I'm keeping paper trail. Hell yeah, just like y'all keep a paper trail of us, lying on us though. They lie on us 24/7. And you know what? You know that people are full of demonic spirits when you're trying to advocate for what's right, and they know that what they doing is wrong, but when they see you advocating, it makes them mad. When they see you speaking up for yourself, it makes them mad. When they see you speaking up for your children, it pisses them off. It makes them mad. When they see your children speaking up for themselves, they ain't got shit to say now. And it's like, one thing y'all got to be careful with doing, man, is doing that corrupt stuff around these children that's able to pick up on it, because these kids are smart. They smart. Real talk. I done seen a situation where CPS officials was so corrupt that it was a whole group of children that was snatched away from their parents. Some of them was snatched away at birth. Some of them was snatched away before the age of 10. Some of them were snatched away in their teen years. But all these children got together and they formed a pact. And when I tell you, it was probably like 15 to 20 of them, and they all grew up in the system pretty much. They grew up in the system. They came together and they filed a big ass lawsuit against the system for, coming into their lives, disturbing their families, keeping them separated from their parents, lying to them over the years, making it seem like their parents didn't want to be involved. This is another thing that they do too, y'all. Man, I'm telling y'all, man, I'm just so glad and grateful that I had to go through this so I could be able to see the corruption for what it truly is. Because I never really knew about CPS corruption. Never really knew about it until I actually had to deal with it myself and go through it. And I'm still dealing with it now. Y'all, I'm gonna be honest with you. This whole system and organization is a full circle. Don't believe shit that they say. They be lying. All they do is lie. Like, even when you think you could probably trust one out of thousands of them, they still be lying. And then that one out of thousands of them, they feel like they have high authority in a certain type of position and they can help the situation, but they really can't. They can't because it's a full circle and it is internal. It's everybody is involved. Everybody. This is child trafficking at its finest. Real talk. I don't care what nobody say. Y'all be kidnapping kids. Y'all stealing people's children. And you know what? It's actually in the Bible. So I'm going to go to that scripture so I can say the scripture in a second. But what I do want to say is I thank God that I've had to go through this situation, man. I'm telling you, it woke me up. It woke me up strongly because I would love to be a huge advocate for other mothers, you know, that have that had to or that has to go through exactly what I'm going through as well. Because when I tell you, they think, oh, she ain't gonna do nothing. We gonna keep being corrupt. See, I'm gonna let y'all think that. That's all. I'm gonna let y'all think that. And see, I'm not talking about harming anyone because they so racist. They feel like, you know, anything that I say is a threat towards them, a physical threat. Like I'm gonna put my hands on you. Just like I told my husband today when we was talking about this. I said the system will do you dirty, lie on you, do everything wrong to you under the sun. And then as soon as you confront them for their actions against you, oh, you angry, you frustrated, right? But let me tell y'all something. It's a difference between anger and frustration. Frustration is a damn emotion. Anger, you can get physical in a heartbeat. You can put your hands on somebody when you angry. So you calling me angry, but I never put my hands on nobody in the system that took my children, right? I would have been locked up a long time ago, right? You call me frustrated. You know what? You damn right. You're damn Skippy. Because over the years, I used to hate when people be like, oh, you're just frustrated. Of course. Of course, I have a righteous frustration towards my situation. Yes, I'm righteously frustrated about what is going on in this system and how y'all feel like y'all can get away with, you know, continuing to be corrupt, continuing to take people children away from them and keep their children away from them and lie to them, lie to the babies, lie to the children, and make it seem like they families don't want nothing to do with them. Let's be 100. Y'all lied on me and kept me and my husband away from our kids for 3.5 months. Lying on us though. Lying. We were called threats. We were called everything in the book. They feel like we were going to harm one of them, you know, because of their corruption. That's my thing. You wouldn't have to feel like you in fear for your life, even though I'm not finna do shit to nobody and he's not either, because I'm not about to risk my freedom to put my hands on you. But I will tell you how I feel in a heartbeat though. So they just feel like, you know, oh, you know, they're going live, they're talking about things and they always assume majority of the things that we talk about is about them. You wouldn't have to have a guilty conscience if you wasn't doing the things that you're doing, honey. You wouldn't even have to. Y'all get in these positions and you abuse your power. And you don't understand that you were, see, let me tell y'all corrupt ass people something that do corrupt things, that has the authority to do they have the authority and they have the audacity to abuse their authority. See, let me tell you something. You were blessed to be put in a position to where you can actually help people. You have that authoritative figure to be able to help people, to be able to help families, to be able to give justice in unjustful situations. But you're not doing that. You're doing the complete opposite, which you should be prepared for your wrath to come behind that, because God blessed you to be in a position that you in to be able to, handle certain situations correctly, go about everything correctly. But y'all go above and beyond y'all jobs when you decide, okay, I'm going to take a child out of their home for some money, or I'm going to continue to do corrupt things for coins, or just for the hell of it, just because I want to ruin the next person's life, just because they're black, just because they're less fortunate, just because they're poor, just because they don't have this, they don't have that. And I could put them with people that are rich and wealthy. And, I mean, you're going to suffer. You're going to suffer. You are going to let me be the one to tell you you're going to suffer. Because just like Swiper said, God ain't no joke. He not. He not. I found out myself because I did a lot of bad things in my lifetime, real talk. And when I had to suffer the consequences behind my horrible ass actions, I found out myself that God ain't no joke. He do not play. That's why a lot of them, they sitting there suffering from illnesses, and then they still sitting there being corrupt. Still. It's like they will literally die being corrupt. They are perfectly fine doing that. So, with that being said, I want to say shout out to Shanequa Arnold for standing up for herself, standing up for her child. And even though it still didn't work out in the way that she really wanted it to, which is being able to take her child home, baby girl, you still stood your ground. You still stood your ground. You still spoke up for yourself. You still advocated for what was right. Still. And it got out there. And your whole story is out here. And the whole world sees the corruption. The whole world sees everything that's going on. Them people was wrong for what they did. Period. I don't give a damn what happened in the past. I don't care about none of that. Y'all literally tried to use this girl's saying that she has a mental health condition because she was inside of a mental hospital facility all the way back in 2018 after her baby girl passed away. She checked herself in. She went through the proper procedures because she was just gone right there at that point, like any other parent would. You better ask these parents out here that lose their children to gun violence or, other things, illnesses or whatnot. That's a pain. That is a pain. Y'all know what? Back in, I'm not even going to say the years, man. I'm going to just say this. Before this CPS situation with myself, I lost 3 babies. 3 babies because I felt like it was the right thing to do. Terminate. Well, actually, one of them I didn't want to, terminate it. I was just brainwashed at the fact that I was way too young to have one. So, over time, I realized that it was actually the wrong thing to do. It was the wrong thing to do. I felt like I had blood on my hands or something, because I took innocent children's lives away that could have had an opportunity to live, but I felt like, well, I'm still young and I might as well, blah, 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 blah. But that's a pain too. People just, they don't really talk about that either. Yeah, miscarriages is definitely a pain. Losing a child after birth, rather it's them getting taken away from you by CPS or, them passing away, it is a pain. But most importantly, terminating pregnancies is a pain. Okay. And I had to go through a grieving process through all 3 of them. I got over it pretty fast, but at the same time, like, that's not something to be proud of. Like, I'm not proud to get to have pregnancies where I had to terminate them. I'm not proud of stuff like that. I want to be able to, anytime I have the ability to be impregnated and I'm pregnant, I would love to carry a child full term. But back then, I wasn't thinking like that. I wasn't thinking like that. And unfortunately, when I made those decisions to terminate the pregnancy, I ended up regretting it. But God knows my pain, and He knows Everything that I've endured, everything that I went through, he knows that I've came to him about my problems, about everything that I'm still going through to this day. So people can judge me however the hell they want to judge me. You can say whatever the hell you want to say, but at the end of the day, this is not the old Danny. This is not the old me. The old me was turned. Yes, I was. The old me didn't mind cracking a bottle upside your head. The old me didn't mind getting arrested and going to jail. The old me didn't mind putting my hands on anybody. I didn't care about the consequences. But the new and improved me, which has been the new and improved me for some years now. I want to say about 6, 7 years. 7, 8. Matter of fact, I'm going to be honest with you. See, people, they pick out certain things that you say, right? So let me be 100. We all know that my children has been in the system for 6.5 years, but before they got into the system, I posed no threat to my children that evidently loves me unconditionally, and they know I love them unconditionally. Now, when it came down to like friendships, relationships, it was always drama filled. When it came down to me being a angry, frustrated person, it was there. It was there. Well, the angry part of me didn't mind put my hands on you, but I wasn't gonna do it unless, it was justified. Unfortunately, majority of the situations was justified. When I had to put my hands on somebody and it didn't end well for me, that's why in most situations it's just best to like walk away. For real. Because you will fuck around and find out if you don't walk away from a situation. People can call you weak. They can call you whatever the hell they want to call you. But the best thing that you did is walk away. Real talk. I felt at the time it was justified for me to defend myself because I felt threatened. And I would throw the first punch at times. And sometimes people would throw the first hit at me. And I'm talking about relationships, real talk. I got into a fight with one friend before. I think I was young though. I was like I had to be like 20 at the time. Or 21, one of them. But I got into a fight with a best friend. And I hate that she had to end up fucking around and finding out, because of what she did. I'm not gonna lie to you. She did some real horrible shit. And I thought that I could trust her, and it ended up, it ended up to where I didn't want it to end up. And yeah, I ain't even gonna go into it, but that was the old Danny. That was the old Danny. And no, I didn't get locked up for that. Because there was people around to break it up and separate us or whatever. She was so, after that, she was so afraid and terrified. Now, she had a right to be afraid of me. I'm trying to figure out, how can you be afraid of someone after you did them dirty as hell? I'm being 100. She did some real grimy stuff. And then when I felt like it was justified in whooping that ass, it was like, I'm afraid of you. I don't want to be around you anymore. I'm scared. I don't want you around me no more anyway, sweetheart. You just did some real dirty stuff. But my point, what I'm trying to make, is the fact that, people, they try to judge me in today's time, and it's like, oh yeah, she blah blah blah, and she used to blah blah blah. That's all you know about me. That's what you heard about me. That's what you seen on paper. That's not me. That ain't me. They really feel like they know you because of what they saw on paper. They feel like they know you just by looking at a damn video of you. You don't know me. You don't even know what I'm capable of. And as a matter of fact, you didn't know what I was capable of last time either. I mean, years ago. Fuck, y'all think I'm some sort of monster? Like, I just want to kill my children or something? Like, they really painted a picture of me as like a monstrous ass mother. But I heard that they've done this to a lot of parents. This is what they do. They have to paint that narrative of you so that they can keep your kids in the system or whatnot. And and you know what pisses them off? It's like when they don't get a chance to see that, when they don't never see it. And they try to say I'm putting on a facade, y'all. Man, these people is crazy. They saying I'm putting on a facade, being nice, fake nice, and all this weird stuff. And I heard that they use that towards a lot of parents as well. And it's like, first and foremost, I know how to handle myself in certain situations. I know how far I can go, and I know how far I should not take things. Real talk. I know when to sit my ass down and shut the hell up. I know when to. Because I've learned over time, this what y'all asses don't know, why y'all want to sit back and judge me for who you think I was in the past, even though you wasn't no way near me and you did not know what I was capable of. Real talk. This is to them. First and foremost, over time, I gained a close relationship with the Most High God, who has been working on me for a long time. And when I tell you, he opened my eyes to help me to see a lot of things, even y'all corrupt ways, man, he changed me for the better. Real talk. I know how to sit my ass down and shut up. Better believe that. And you want to know why? Because he wants me to allow him to take control and take the wheel. When there's someone doing me wrong and doing me dirty, I'm going to speak up for myself. I'm going to advocate for myself. I'm going to advocate for my family. I'm going to speak up. We're going to continue to do that. But what y'all fail to realize is I ain't going to cuss you out. I ain't gonna put my hands on you. I ain't gonna walk up in your face. I ain't finna do none of that. I know that's what y'all want me to do. And y'all know it'd be sad. It'd be black people that think that way about you too. Your own culture would think that way about you, which is very racist. Like I said, black people can be racist too. You're racist. You racist. If you feel like you can judge me based off of the past me, and like I said, who you thought I was in the past, and who you thought I was from the past through paperwork, if you can judge me from that, if you can judge me because I don't have much like how you have it, I'm gonna be honest with you, you racist, especially if you are abusing your authority. If you are an authoritative figure and you have that authority to judge someone in some sort of way, you are racist. I don't give a damn what culture you are. I don't care if you're black. You racist. Real talk. So not only white people can be racist, bro. It's all different cultures that can be racist, man. Real talk. But you know what? I do want to get to this scripture though, so I can let people know that, you know, especially the people that continues to be corrupt, and they will stop at nothing with their corruption. I have a scripture for you guys. So I need y'all to hold on for 1 second. Don't go nowhere, guys, okay? I want to read this. I want to read this because these people need to know. They have to know. Don't go nowhere, y'all. All right, we back. My bad, y'all. I had to get the scripture. Okay, so we got 3 different scriptures, right? Now, these scriptures are specifically for these corrupt officials that are judges, lawyers, attorneys. I mean, you name it. Police officers, anybody that is involved in taking from the less fortunate, or you know, just stealing people. We're just gonna direct this towards CPS, okay, and their corruption. So I know majority of y'all don't take God serious, and you don't believe in God, and you don't care about what's being put in the scriptures, but I am here to warn you in God, and you don't care about what's being put in the scriptures, but I am here to warn you that you should really stop what you're doing, because you will feel the wrath. First one is Exodus chapter 20 verse 15. Thou shalt not steal. Thou shalt not steal. Y'all out here stealing people's children. You stealing people's kids, and you keeping them away in the system, and you're making it to where people cannot, biological parents can't see their children. Y'all doing all type of things y'all could think of to keep the kids away from their parents and stuff. So, okay, here's the next one. Proverbs chapter 22, Verse 22 to 23. Rob not the poor because he is poor, neither oppress the afflicted in the gate. For the Lord will plead their cause and spoil the soul of those that spoiled them. You hear that? Do you hear that? Proverbs chapter 22. Let's say it again. Rob not the poor because he is poor, neither oppress the afflicted in the gate. For the Lord will plead their cause and spoil the soul of those that spoiled them. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. What do they tell you? That means that you will feel the wrath. Isaiah chapter 61 verse 8. Trying to make sure okay. Isaiah chapter 61 verse 8. For I, the Lord, love judgment. I hate robbery for burnt offering, and I will direct their work in truth, and I will make an everlasting covenant with them. Hold on, y'all. Yeah, because I had some more scriptures in here. But in the meantime, between time, y'all got to understand what y'all doing is wrong, man. What y'all doing is wrong. Psalms chapter 37 verse 16. A little that a righteous man have is better than the riches of many wicked. I gotta say that again. Because see, let me tell y'all something. People like me might not have it all. I'm still blessed. Me and other folks out here that feel the same exact way as me. I'm still blessed at the end of the day. And I might not be rich and wealthy like most people. But guess what? I'm rich within. Psalms chapter 37 verse 16. A little that a righteous man hath is better than the riches of many wicked. Real talk. It's better than the riches of many wicked. You hear that? It's a lot of wicked folks out here that got a lot of money. Like these corrupt officials. Because they gaining money from our children being in the system. It's a lot of people that got a lot of money. But what they fail to realize is you a broken ass person. How you rich and broke at the same time? Make it make sense. Make it make some sort of sense. You rich and broke. You're wealthy and broke. Because you're wealthy, evidently your pockets is full. You got a nice house. You got a nice car. You got all that. But you broken from within though. Because you going out here running around, stealing people's children, stealing people's money, doing whatever you do because you have the authority to do so. But what you fail to realize is you're going to have to face the wrath. You can run, but you cannot hide. You can run, but you can't hide. So what y'all did to this woman, Miss Shanequa Arnold, was so wrong. And I cried a little bit. And I was shaking. Because I'm just like, oh my God. The baby. It's the baby. It's the mother too, but it's the little baby. The little precious little sweet baby. She just was born. Like she wasn't supposed to be hearing all that chaos. Why did y'all do that? Why? She was just born. You think she wanted to be born into this world and be stressed out immediately? But the skin to skin contact with her mom helped keep her so calm. It helps keep her so calm, and she didn't start crying until towards almost the end of the video. The baby started crying. Y'all was stressing her mama out. Stressing the mama out. And then want to say she frustrated and she need to calm down. Motherfucker, you trying to take her baby. Who the hell supposed to be calm and allow you to snatch their child out their arms, man? This baby was fresh out the womb. Fresh out the womb. What was the baby like 3 days old, 3 or 4 days old, man. Y'all trying to stress the mama out so bad. I understand, man. I'm telling you, man, I've been there. I've been there. I've been there. They did the worst thing that they could have ever did to me for real was that last situation when they kidnapped my child in the hospital though. In the hospital while he's still hooked up to machines in the NICU. Made it to where me and my husband could never come back to see our child again. We literally have watched our black African American son grow in a system. He was blessed to be able to have life because he was born very early, prematurely. And next thing you know, we gotta watch him grow in the system. And he finna be, 4 years old now? Still. And he barely even know who we are. We're his parents. He know we his parents, but he really don't know us like that. Ain't that crazy? You don't know how hurtful that is? But hey, we can't let it get to us. We got to keep living. Unfortunately, we got to keep living, keep fighting, and keep living. It's just so painful to see mothers and fathers. It's very rare to see fathers that put up with the system's bullshit. I'm gonna be honest with you. It's very rare to see it, but my husband is one of the rare ones, real talk, because he's actually putting up with this shit with me. Shout out to him. The best damn husband that any woman can ask for. Real talk, y'all not know how many men give up on their children when the children enter the system. You not know how many mothers, most importantly, give up on their children when their children into the system. So shout out to all of the moms out there, all of the dads out there that has to deal with CPS and that has had to deal with CPS and that's dealing with them now. And that's dealing with them. That's the thing. You're dealing. They want us to give up, man. They want us to give up the fight. And let me tell y'all another thing that they do. They lie to you. They tell you, as long as you complete the services, you're going to get y'all kids back. So why is it that I completed everything they asked me to complete? Plus, they tried to throw more of them at me at the same time, advocating for what's right, and been doing this for 6.5 years. And hopefully not counting more, because I would love to have my children back home. Y'all clearly see how good of a mother I am. The only thing that's holding them back from giving me my children is their pride. They're too prideful. They're too evil. They're full of it. I'm going to just be 100. And they're withholding my children from me. And they're withholding information from me because, y'all, they do not like me and my husband. Of course, they're demons. Why wouldn't they like us? Why wouldn't they? I mean, why would they like us? They're demons. They are possessed. Every day that they wake up, they're possessed with a demonic entity. You can threaten me. You can say whatever it is that you want about this video that I posted, but I am bringing awareness for a good cause because y'all are corrupt. You corrupt. Let's just call it what it is. Y'all not out here really doing the right thing, man. Because if you was, my children would have been home a long time ago. There is no way that my oldest child is a preteen and she's been in the system since she was a little kid. There is no way that, I'm going to be honest with you. One thing I can say about my children, y'all, they advocate. I'm telling you, they are some very smart kids. They know what's going on. They know what's going on. That's what y'all don't understand, man. These kids know. Y'all keep on, oh, don't talk to the kids about the case. Well, they are going to know what's going on. When you keep doing corrupt things, and they're going to be able to see the things that you do, plus more. So if you think they're not going to find out, you have another thing coming. Real talk. What you think, a child just going to go through this and keep quiet the whole time and be like, just waiting on the day I'm gonna be able to be with my parents again. La da 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 da. Let me live my life for the rest of my life with people that I don't even know. That's not my parents. Y'all want these people to be their parents, though. That's the sick part. But what you can never take away from me is the fact that I am a mother. What you cannot take away from a lot of these women out here and a lot of these fathers out here is the fact that they're mothers and they're fathers. Even when people are, even our own parents. We probably got parents out here that's toxic as hell. But in the Bible, it says, honor thy mother and thy father. It doesn't matter what your parents did to you. It doesn't matter the circumstances that they put you through. It don't matter what happened. It don't matter the situation overall. We are supposed to acknowledge our parents still. Hell, because those are our parents. They brought us into this world. Real talk. So regardless if y'all don't like it, and regardless if y'all want to separate my children from me, I want to let y'all know that I am still a mother. That's not going to go anywhere. That title is not going to go anywhere. I'm still a mother. I'm still going to remain relevant in their lives, no matter what you decide to do, no matter what you, because that's another thing I want to talk to y'all about, right? The system is so corrupt. They tell y'all, like I said, don't believe the hype. They tell y'all complete all these services, do these services, you're going to get your kids back. Okay, I did everything that I was supposed to within probably 2 years. Yeah, I did everything I was supposed to do within 2 years. And everything was successfully completed, and I still did not get my children back, and it's 6.5 years now. Right? The only thing that they will do, though, that I tell you that they will be successful with attempting to do is to try to terminate your rights. They play with you. They want you to believe that if you do all them services, they're going to give you your kids back. But all they're going to do is probably just terminate your rights, or, stamp guardianship or something like that on some paperwork. That's all. But this is one thing, though. If it's God's will, he going to let it be. God allows certain people, got to understand something, man. Like, for instance, with the Shanequa Arnold situation. The only reason why she was able to keep God first in this situation is because she knows that things happen for a reason. Like she said, at the end of the day, if y'all take my child, this is going to be my victory. What do you mean? This is going to be my victory. And I don't have the video for y'all. I just highly recommend y'all go look at the video. Just type in her name on YouTube or TikTok or Facebook or some shit. Shanequa Arnold. But they have multiple videos up of her. It's like an hour and some change long. Like I said, the guy name is Carlos. He's a content creator. I forgot his last name, but I looked at it off of his page, and it was very heartbreaking. Like I said, I didn't see anything about this until today, and this happened a month ago. Like I said, if it's God's will, he'll let it be. And people don't understand that we all have to face horrible circumstances at some point in our lives. Even if a person close to you passed away, or you lost something that meant so much to you, or whatever, you lost your home. It don't matter. Whatever it is, it was allowed to happen. Because the best way to overcome something is to go through it first. You got to go through it. Trust and believe me when I say this. Because I'm a fighter. You know what I'm saying? I never gave up. I've been going through this for 6.5 years. When my children first got taken away from me, I felt like my life was over. I felt like my life was over. I felt horrible. What parent wouldn't, man? But I cared so much and I loved them so much that I'm still here for them to this day, because I heard that a lot of parents give up on their children. I actually had a friend when I first started going through my situation who was going through the same exact situation as me. She had 3 kids as well, but she gave up. She gave up. And you want to know the best part about her situation? Her mom had custody of all 3 of her children. Her mom was letting her see her children whenever she wanted to, because she was being supervised by her mom and whatnot. And she was literally able to see her kids every day. Every day. So it was like she still had them, you know? And people like her were very blessed, and she didn't accept that blessing. And I even tried to talk to her and tell her, like, no, don't give up. She was like, no, I'm just not gonna keep doing the same thing. I'm not gonna keep doing the same services. Now let me tell y'all something about her. We both had to take parenting class, right? I actually met her through parenting class, but we both was taking up parenting class. I came to parenting class. The parenting class started off with 20 people and ended with 4. And I was one of the 4. Okay? That all of those people that was in that class, they literally gave up. They gave up. The friend that I'm talking about, she gave up right along with them, and I just stopped talking to her because I kept trying to help her through it. I'm like, look, if you would feel any better, whenever you're here, I'm here. Okay, we could sit next to each other. We're gonna get through this shit together. Okay, don't give up, please. I'm like, what's even better for you is the fact that you get to see your kids every day. Your mom, she was like, if I have to repeat this class over and over, I'm going to literally just call it quits. So what happened was I think they give you 3 chances in parenting class. Um, you know, and the teachers were so lenient. They knew that certain circumstances happen and things like that. So they'll just give you the makeup work if you can't make it. They'll give you the makeup work, or they'll give you the option to come back and, complete the makeup work or whatnot. But she didn't want to do that. She was the only reason why she was missing class is because I'm gonna just be 100. She had a sugar daddy, okay? Her sugar daddy was in his 80s, and she was 31 at the time, and she was getting this man out his pension check. He was paying all her rent, paying her bills, and giving her money because he liked young girls. And she was changing his diaper, all type of sick shit. And then she was just out here, you know what I'm saying, popping it for money and stuff like that, if you know what I mean. So I was just trying to encourage her to do all the right things, and she just didn't want to listen to me. And I was just telling her, like, hey, I had sent her a text, and I told her, like, hey, the teachers is saying that this is your last, straw. They're gonna give you another chance, because they really give you 3, but they gave her 4. They were very lenient. She was like, I don't give a fuck. I'm not finna come back. Tell they ass that I don't feel like it today. I'm gonna be back next week. And I said, well, this was your last chance. So she was like, well, it is what it is. I give up anyway. I don't care no more. I'm about to tell my mom that she could just keep the kids, blah, blah, blah. So sad. It's sad. And she wanted to continue to hang with me. She wanted me to do her makeup work for her or some shit. I'm like, nah, I'm not about to do nothing for you. I'm fighting my own battle, sweetheart. You gotta fight your own. So, like I said, that's just an example. It's a lot of parents that has given up on their children. Me personally, I'm not one of them. But the system, though, they evidently are supposed to be the parents now to our children. Because they feel like, see, this is the sick part about them that they need to understand, right? One thing that you will never be able to take away from me is the fact that I am a mother. One thing you can't take away from my husband is he is a father. You cannot take that away from us. We still mothers and fathers. Okay? We still created them. All right? So, we the mother. I'm the mother. He's the father. The hell? And they just feel like once your kids get into the system, we have custody of them now.
we're the parents or the foster parents are the parents. No, they're not, because my child does not have y'all DNA in them, and they ain't got the foster parents DNA either. So, you know, let's be 100 though. Let's be 100. So, whatever decision they decide that they finna make to try to break us into pieces or whatnot, at the end of the day, if you feel like you can break me, think again. Real talk. And I know it's because y'all racist. I know it's the majority of the reason why they're doing what they're doing is because they're racist. And they're just wicked. They're just evil. See, like I keep trying to tell y'all, anytime a person has the ability to have authority to do the right thing, but they decide to do the total opposite, they racist. You're racist. Okay? Seriously, I don't care. Like I said, I don't care what culture you are. I don't care if you're black, African, white, Mexican, Puerto Rican, Arabian, Chinese. I don't give a damn what culture. I don't give a damn if you purple, orange, brown, blue, red. I don't care. If your ass has the ability to be an authoritative figure and you decide to abuse your power, you are wicked and racist. And me personally, I learned that we can only do so much with praying for people, okay? What we have to do is pray that they come to God for and hold themselves accountable for the things that they're doing wrong. Because if they don't and they continue to do what they do, I'm telling you, boy, you're gonna have to feel the wrath. And you know what's sad? A lot of them, a lot of them is old. They old. They already old. You know, a lot of them are in their 40s, their 50s. Most importantly, their 70s. And it's like, how the hell is you old and hunched over and still being evil and corrupt? Like, how? How can you even do that? I know it'd be hard for y'all to look me in my eyes and shit. Trust me, I know. I know it's hard for y'all to look me in my eyes. I know it's hard for y'all to look my way. And when y'all do, y'all think it's a game. Y'all think it's funny. Y'all telling me that I think it's a game, but honestly, y'all the ones that think it's a game. I'm gonna be honest. Look, let me tell you something. I didn't put myself in this situation to expect to have to play a game with people. I didn't do that, okay, for a cause. Like, this is not a game to me. This is real life. Real shit. But evidently it's a game to the system. This is a full circle. I'm tired of people saying, all you gotta do is your service. You talking to a person that's been dealing with this shit for 6.5 years, that pretty much knows the type of shit that the system is. Like I said, RIP Nancy Schaefer. If you go on my channel and you go to my video section, you're going to see a video that I posted of Nancy Schaefer. Okay? She was a Georgia State Senate who exposed the corruption within CPS and how she has so many families coming to her for help because they were dealing with the corruption behind CPS, and she couldn't believe what she saw. She was a good senator, and guess what? They killed her and her husband back in 2000, if I'm not mistaken, 2010, for exposing the truth. She was pretty much a whistleblower. She blew the whistle, sounded the alarm, and let everybody know, hey, this system is corrupt. And I don't work on that side, you know. I'm working against their corruption. She literally said in this speech that when I tell y'all, ooh, R.I.P. Nancy Schaefer, R.I.P. to that woman, I'm finna name it so y'all can understand that this shit is a full circle. Judges, lawyers, therapists, everybody that's involved in CPS. Like, for instance, when you gotta do when they tell you gotta do services, or when they tell you gotta go to court, or when you have to deal with caseworkers and things like that that's on your case, anybody that's on your case, and if they good people, this is not pertaining to them. But if they're corrupt and they're evil, which the majority of them are, Nancy Schaefer exposed your ass already. So we already know that it's a game to y'all. Of course. We found out how much y'all really make. Damn. I found out at one point they was making $300,000 per child being in the system. And they make more when a child is on medications, when a child has to do therapy and stuff like that, when a child is diagnosed. This is why they be so quick to put your child in the system and diagnose them with some type of mental disability or whatnot, because they make more money. They make more money. It's all about money. That's all it is. That's all it's gonna ever be. So what we gonna do is, my bad, y'all, that's my neighbors. But what we gonna do is we're gonna go through all of the ones I can remember in my mind that Nancy Schaefer said is corrupt. Because this is a business, guys. Remember, this is a business to them. Lawyers, therapists, the what do you call it? The teachers for the parenting class, of course the caseworkers and the supervisors and the whole entire foster care agency overall. Then in the courtroom you got obviously the judges, the GALs, the court reporters. I'm talking about everybody you can think of that is connected to CPS, that's connected, full circle. Then she said, most importantly, that she exposed her own colleagues because she stated that they were going to them as well, and it was just nothing but corruption as well behind that. Police officers in on this too. Trust me. I had detectives on my case when mine first opened. And they thought that they was scaring me when they came in my house with their guns and their badges and shit. And I just looked at them like, I ain't afraid of y'all, man. But I'm gonna be honest with you, like, this shit is just totally uncalled for. You got, I mean, you name it, doctors, hospitals, they are involved. And when you look at the Shanequa Arnold's video, clearly you see that CPS has more authority over a damn hospital and the police officers. Real talk. And I'm gonna be 1,000 with you. In my situation, it was the same scenario. I'm gonna tell you the reason why they felt like they was able to gain custody of my children faster than anything is because they lied to me and they told me after they left my house, they said, let's go to the hospital so they can be cleared to go back home. We just want to check them. And when I did that, my whole life changed for the worse at that point and the better. Real talk. Because I say the better because I learned from my mistakes. But it changed for the worse because I never thought that if I go to the hospital to make sure they check on my kids and clear everything or whatever, I never thought that I never even imagined it to really go the wrong way. I kind of was thinking it like, what if they lying or some shit? But I was like, nah, they probably ain't lying. They probably really finna, you know what I'm saying, just release them based off the. I'm telling you, y'all, when I took my kids to the hospital, don't do that shit, man. Do not do it because that is the best way for them to trap you in there. Because they ain't in your home. They know that, they can easily you can make them leave out your damn house if you don't feel safe with them in your home. So they felt like, oh, we're gonna go to the hospital with it because that's the best way to kidnap her children out the hospital. Like, it ain't nothing. Next thing you know, the same detectives and that same social worker arrived at the hospital and bam, voila, hours later, took my kids. And they told me I need to leave. And if I don't leave, I will be arrested for trespassing. Evil. Evil. You motherfuckers just lied to me and told me all I have to do was come to the hospital. And now that I'm here, you just lied to me. But I'm telling you, this is exactly why y'all have to be wary of these doctors, These hospitals, and the doctors inside of these hospitals, man, especially when you're giving birth. Real talk. Real talk. Man, I'm talking about they will juice your baby up with them vaccines. Real talk. Hold on to your child. Hold on to your baby. They will juice your baby up with all them damn vaccines, fucking your child up. Real talk. And I'm just so glad how she called that out too. She was like, no, I'm not about to give y'all my baby because y'all are trying to vaccinate my child and put all these different types of shots inside of her and everything. They tried to tell her to sign off on this paper. She's like, no, I'm not signing shit. I ain't signing nothing. They kept on trying to they had all these different type of requests for her. And she said, I'm not cooperating. I'm not doing nothing. You better go get my mom. Whole time her family was downstairs in the hospital and they refused to allow her access to her family, to allow her family to come upstairs so that, everything can be okay. Then when she said, I'm not going to cooperate with you and let you go get my sister, they ran to go get her sister. Then when her sister was in there, she said, I want my mom. Where's my mom? They said to her, the only way that we gonna allow your mom up is if your sister leave out the room. She was like, what the fuck? For what? Both my mom and my sister were just in a room earlier today and the day before that. So what do you mean? So they just I'm gonna be honest with y'all, women too, women, please, please. Most importantly, advocate for yourself, have family with you that can advocate for you. But y'all want to know what's a stronger figure though? The male. You gotta have your man by your side. I'm telling you, when you going through stuff like this, they don't like when they be afraid of the men. They afraid of the men. So they feel like, you a lot more vulnerable when you're a woman who just gave birth, who's alone by herself. Oh, hell no. Where the fuck my husband at? They already knew to ban us out that motherfucking hospital that day. When they waited until they so scary. They couldn't do that when we was sitting right there in that room with our child. They couldn't do it because they felt like, oh no, man, we got a better chance when they leave because they gonna end up going to the store to get them something to eat. So by the time they come back, they ain't gonna be able to get through security. They ain't even gonna be able to get through these doors. And they banned us because they was afraid to do it in our faces. Everybody always afraid of black motherfuckers. Like, real talk, like, other cultures be so scared of black people. Y'all always think we gonna smack the shit out of one of y'all or hit y'all or bust y'all upside the head or pop one of y'all asses. Like, every black person ain't like that, man. Especially if you don't want to risk your damn freedom for some BS. Real talk. Nah, I ain't gonna hit you. I'm gonna record your ass. I'm gonna hit the record button. I'm gonna record you because now I'm recording for my safety. Now that's what I'm doing because I don't feel safe now. Now I don't feel safe. Since y'all always think somebody finna put their hands on y'all. Real talk. I'll say some foul things out of my mouth, when I'm upset. At times I will say I'm gonna slap the shit out of somebody. But am I gonna do it? No, I'm not. You don't have to worry because the only time I'm gonna put my hands on you is if you put your motherfucking hands on me. Better know that. The only time that I'm gonna really put my hands on you is if you touch my child or any of my children. Then, yeah. And you do it while I'm right there. While I'm right there. This woman, Shanequa Arnold, stated that her previous child was abused in the system. And I'm going to be honest with you. Baby girl, I'm going to just say I feel you because I done went through the same shit. I'm telling you. My kids. Y'all really... So this is what they do. They take the kids out the home and they say the parents is being abusive towards the children. And then y'all throw them inside of foster care just for them to be abused in foster care. Just for them to be hurt. and abused and kicked around and punched and shit by other foster kids as well, by the foster parents. And then when it gets reported, nothing is done. Instead, they continue to point the fingers at the parents, even though the parents don't have custody of their children right now. It's like, oh, it's the parents' fault. How the fuck is it my fault? And y'all the ones that's hurting my children, harming them. I'm just saying, she called their ass out on that. She said, no, my child is safe with me. My child is perfectly fine with me. Y'all abused my last child. Y'all hit my child and harmed her while she was in y'all system. But they paint us as these monstrous people, man. We just so monstrous. Like, we're just so wicked. We're so evil. We're harming our children. And then they try to make you feel like, my bad, y'all. They try to make you feel like you doing a horrible job with parenting your child when it's time for discipline. And I'm gonna be honest with you, like, when it's time for discipline, discipline is a must, because your child, and think how you want to think, because everybody believes discipline is a form of whoopings, you know, just because, you know, the typical racist ass cultures believe that all black people beat and harm their children and shit like that, when that's not even the fucking case. Real talk. Discipline, it could be so many different forms of discipline in positive ways, but they don't believe that you should discipline your child at all. As a matter of fact, they act like they just got the blueprint to parenting, period. Real talk. But y'all are the system. Y'all created this bullcrap. You feel like we should discipline our children in the way that you want us to discipline our children. Y'all want us to be able to allow our children to run over us, say what they ain't gonna do, how they ain't gonna do it, backtalk us, cuss us out, say, I hate you, mom, like, you know, y'all children do. Slamming doors, locking doors on you, all type of shit. Like, y'all really think we finna allow that? No. No. What children need is structure in the home. They need structure. They need discipline. If you don't do what I told you to do, you will not go anywhere. You will not get anything. And you use discipline out of love. But the system, they like to paint a picture of you as just this monstrous ass person. When you decide that you want to discipline your child correctly, it's wrong to them. Real talk. So, I just wanted to bring awareness to this, y'all. I've been on here for almost 2 hours, though, but, like, y'all gotta understand the system is corrupt, man. Everybody be feeling like, oh no, well, she must have did something. I'm seeing videos and stuff of women up there talking about, oh, she must have did something, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, but at the same time, though, if did y'all not hear these people in their reasoning? At first, they said they didn't have a reason, and they don't know why. Then the second time, they stated, oh, it's because you were inside of a mental hospital back in 2018 after your child passed away. Bro, it's 2025. Did you not hear this lady when she said she got therapy reports for her outside therapist? Did you not hear this lady when she said she works 3 jobs and she works with mentally ill patients and also children as well? If she was such a threat and a harm to her newborn child, they wouldn't even allow her around children. They wouldn't even allow her around patients whatsoever. Real talk. And you know what? The father, I just gotta say this to her baby father. I don't know, I don't know personally what her relationship is with her baby father, but honestly, I could just say this: he wrong. He wrong for signing his rights over and saying that he don't want no dealings with his child. He's wrong, because fathers, y'all must get involved. Real talk, because the system is gonna attack the fatherless. The fatherless children, they will attack. Real talk, y'all. I gotta get my baby girl, y'all. She be waking up and she do not play no games. So with that being said, I just want to say, y'all, pay attention, keep y'all eyes open. Go and look at the video of Shanequa Arnold. It's up on YouTube. It's up there. It's like an hour and some change long. Kudos to her, baby girl. Don't never feel like you ain't do your part, because you did, and you brought awareness, and it reached millions of people, as a matter of fact. So yeah, I'm glad she did that. And I will continue to do my part in bringing awareness to this corrupt ass system. So, with that being said, y'all, stay tuned for more content on the way. Stay tuned for more live streams. Haven't posted a video still. Stay tuned for that as well. Make sure y'all go look at Nancy Schaefer, Georgia State Senator, who exposed CPS. Y'all gotta stop saying all you gotta do is do your services and you're gonna get your kids back. That's not the case, y'all. This is a full circle. It is a game to them, and most importantly, it is a money making scheme. Okay, all they care about is the coins, and there's so many different high authoritative figures that is involved in this shit. Literally. Ooh wee. All right, y'all. I gotta go. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. Make sure y'all hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. Love everybody.